Hello everybody, it's Night Ghost 1400 again, back at it with another smoke utility video. I decided that I wanted to make more of these because there's a lot more maps that I actually like that has been made on the Source Engine Discord besides just Mar. There's a ton more that I like even more than Mar, and one of those is DE Doth by ABP. I think this map is a pretty solid map in my opinion. It's just so chaotic and yet so fluid and flowing. It just makes such a good map for something that doesn't seem to make sense when you first look at it. Especially just look at the radar here. You'd look at it and you go, I don't know what this is. But we're going to show you some nice smokes and also explain a couple reasons for those newer mappers why using certain textures does make it a lot harder to line up smokes. So, first smoke, we're going to identify the important areas to smoke off, and I'm going to show you some important smokes and why you should be smoking there, because a lot of you people who are watching this video are new to these maps. So, we're going to show you some T-site smokes for the B-site and important positions to play. So, number one of your B position players you're going to commonly see is behind these crates here. It's a very strong and versatile position that allows you to attack multiple positions at once. You can keep track of this upper position here, and this lower position, and this main entrance. You could basically watch these three areas while also watching this connector area over here, which basically acts as a kind of a split for the B site. This is a very versatile position here, and so it's a very important position to smoke off. So, there are actually two smoke lineups that you can use for this position. The first one is relatively simple. You get stuck into this bench here, you line up from this pole and you aim until this brick, 2 bricks up from this pole. It's just a simple left click throw, and that lands perfectly in the center there. That really cuts off the amount of positions that you can play from this B position, and also makes it a lot harder for this player to work around a split. He has to back up and play off the angle, which is ideally what you want, but still it's a pretty nice smoke. It prevents him from peeking this upper position safely and allows you game control in the upper window. Now there's also another place you can throw the smoke, and that is from directly on the upper window. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to get yourself stuck in between this. This is actually solid. You want to get yourself right stuck in the back there. You're going to aim at this pole where it meets the texture. Left click throw again. That smoke is also going to land perfectly dead center. So you have two options if you're pushing the upper window, or if you're just kind of standing there to get ready for your teammates. Either way, either one works just fine. It really just depends on whether or not you're going to be throwing it and regrouping with your team for this push, or throwing it from the upper position and gaining an angle. Next important position that you're going to be wanting smoking off is this upper position. It has a really strong grasp on a lot of the areas around. It's really nice and versatile, as again said. You got this nice tight angle here, which can really be helpful if your team performs a split and kills your player up in this position, and they're trying to go around here. They can keep an eye on that position relatively nicely. So, if you want to smoke off that position, be warned though, there is a tiny gap that you might have to work around. You can get yourself stuck in this corner. Actually, you get stuck in this corner next to the barrels, my bad. You aim at the very tippity top at this little jut, and you just do a jump throw. That smoke will land perfectly right there. Now, be warned, because there's a tiny gap that a player can potentially maneuver around without being visible to get an angle, especially into this main position. You should definitely be warned and worry of that. This is kind of the best position, though. It will definitely make it harder for a retake, but for the initial take, it's going to be a bit harder to deal with. It does block off pretty cleanly that nasty angle we were talking about earlier, but it should definitely be warned that just because that smoke lands does not mean you should completely discount the upper position. The next position you're going to be worrying about is this position. This is a very strong position. It has fast rotates. You can pretty cleanly watch these two positions, especially if you have a teammate playing over here or even anywhere over there. They're going to be delaying that push, which means you can watch this alternate position and then immediately fall back and switch off this. Plus, it has really quick rotates to the A site. Hold on. It rotates to the A site, which means that this is going to be a common position that is going to happen as soon as you take the bomb site beat. This is going to be a common position that the rotate happens from, and you don't want this angle pretty much just taking from this area and then get a nice clean angle on the site. So what you can do is, in order to throw a smoke over there, you get yourself, what you do is you come up to this window texture, you kind of line yourself up perfectly with this giant jut here. You aim at where this brick is, the very corner of this brick, and you do a jump throw. That smoke... Why do you lie? What? Oh no, my smokes had to not work with me. Okay. What you gotta make sure is you gotta, like, make sure that you're not... You gotta, like, do like that, I guess, the very edge of the brick. Otherwise, you're gonna bounce off that. Yeah, it's kind of a weird lineup, I guess. Yeah, making sure that you don't do that. Anyways, that's most of the B-side smokes. B-side is a very simple place to smoke due to how pretty much open it is and how low the walls are. A-side, on the other hand, is a lot harder to work with utility around. That's because of how tall the walls are and how blank the walls are. Because of this, finding lineups for this map is quite hard to deal with. And also, we can't use this tree because if you look close enough, the tree moves a little bit, and it do be swaying. It do be swaying, including the branches. They sway too, which means we can't use those for lineups. But we can still work with what we've got. Yeah, the first molly I want to show you is this molly that can easily be thrown from CT to delay a push. You basically get yourself stuck into this corner here. Aim from this very edge of this light down till you reach this top texture, and you just kind of throw that. Lands perfectly down into the main entrance. Perfect delay tool. Pretty sure you could also use this with a smoke to also achieve the same similar result for a delay. Allow your teammates to push up into the main hallway. I forgot to mention, but this is also the lineups for the other side of the hallway. You just kind of line up with this back wall, kind of up to the right and land at the top. You can land some nice mollies if you can combine that, completely cover the area. Plus, you could also use a smoke, and also to cover off that same area. That area, if you like combine both the smoke with your two A-side player teammates, it should cover up the entire area pretty cleanly. Alright, another useful thing you could use is due to these double doors being here, you might want to try some little freaky peek, so you could just kind of chuck your frag grenade at this corner, get yourself in position, and just kind of shred the surprised enemy team. I don't know, man, it's pretty cool. Other lineups. One position you might see on this A site is a very close-up position. A position like here. It's a very annoying position to deal with because it's also a headshot angle, and it's very versatile. You can play like here, play this weird headshot angle, and then meet this close angle around here. It's weird, it's whack, you don't want to deal with it. Alright, here's what you do. You get yourself stuck to this bench position, aim right at the very tippity top of this texture, kind of over like here in this general area. You see where this texture meets the wall? It's kind of hard to see because guess what? It's a white wall on a white wall. APP. So you just kind of throw that there, and that will generally cover the entirety of this area. You're trying to play around here, but it's not easy to work around. You can kind of still get stuck in this corner, but you can aim left or right to your choosing. I kind of aimed a little bit to the left, so we can aim a little bit more to the left, and that will primarily put that on that deep corner over here, and now that he can't play there anymore. But it will make sure that this corner is still playable. So, you know, it really depends on where you last saw the enemy. Next lineup is to kind of aim till this texture is pretty relatively flat. Aim like shown in between this box. You're dead center. Do a little jump throw there. That kind of lands centered on this back position. This should make it so that when you take the site, it should be relatively simple to prevent that ladder rotate. However, do be warned because of how far back it's thrown. You're gonna get stuck yourself into this, corner. You're gonna aim where you want it to be, do a jump throw, and you're kind of immediately going to have to come up and regroup with your team, who are probably already taken this area and already ready to push into this position. So you might be a little bit delayed behind, and the rotate might even come and push through the smoke because you haven't pushed through. So it's more of a interesting smoke, to say the least. Oh, by the way, another thing you can do as a CT or even a T is that you can run up, get onto this crate here, and then you can run up and jump across, and then you can get some pretty quacky off angles right here. that you can play around. And if you play as a T, you can do some shit like this, where you're just waiting for them to peek out. Maybe have this area smoked off. Have a teammate watching that, and then you're just kind of sitting here like, peek me, you nerd. And then somebody comes out, and you just kind of spray him down as he's like, ooh, when are they gonna? And then you just get shot from the middle of nowhere. Valve Police fix. Okay guys, so I just did a little bit of exploring around the map, and I actually found the perfect default that you can throw with 3 teammates. You just need 2 smokes and 1 Molotov, and the first molly you already saw it. Pretty simple lineup. Either you molly to the left side of this lamp, or you molly to the right side of the lamp. That you saw this molly before, just depending on what side of the box you want to get. Then what you want to do is you're going to have another teammate who's going to stand behind this guy. He's going to aim at this part of the texture, the very top of it, and you're just going to left click throw. That smoke is going to land right here. It's going to cut off this entire back position. Then you're going to combine it with your other teammate here, who's going to stand here, and he's going to aim with this part of the texture, the same part. I believe that's the same part you were. No, you're going to aim to the right of this, over here, and you're going to aim towards the very top. And what that smoke is going to do is it's going to bounce off and land on the other side. So this, what essentially this allows you to do is that when both smokes are down, let me just a second, just to read through this last one, it allows you to pretty convincingly cover this entire part of the site, and with that mollied out, that forces this guy either back into the smoke, or to go to this side and take this close angle fight, and he'll be segmented off from his teammates unless his teammates want to push. What this allows you to do is that your lower teammates go out and clear the site, then your upper teammates come out, clear this lower position, and then make sure to check against these upper angles which the top of the site can still be visible to. And after you do that, you pretty much cleared the site very early on, and allows you to get a default plant around here. And then once that happens, smokes drop, and that allows you to push forward into the main areas to watch for any connector rotates. Pretty standard default. I think it's pretty good. You know, the only real problem with this default is that you have to put a lot of commitment in order to take A. You're pretty much pushing up and taking and clearing this entire position first, and then making sure that nobody pushes either these doors or this door, just so your 3 teammates can get into a default. You don't really need the Molotov, but I think it's still useful. You're not really safe necessarily. Like, it's pretty dangerous to do that, because any peek can take down 3 of you with grenades out. But at the same time, not a lot of CTs are going to want to push that. If they know that there are 5 Ts that have taken control of this area, despite the fact that there's a crossfire here, if 2 people speak at the same time, it's still a pretty dumb idea that could potentially lose you the site if you play it wrong. So, I think it's a pretty solid default. I did what I could to work with it, and I think that's pretty much all the utility that I've thrown. But yeah, Doth was kind of hard to line up for. Sure, B-side, I mean, was relatively splendid for lining up for, and A-side was hard, but it does not compare to the next map I want to do, which is Heights. Oh god, Heights. It's just all these white wall track textures, which means that I can't line up on anything whatsoever. Like Mar, it had the like grayed out textures and shit, but it also had like a bunch of cars and detailing in T-spawn you could line up at, which made it a whole lot easier. It had a lot of detailing, a lot of to jutting out. This A site had less of that. Like, sure, you had this grid you could line up against, but not a lot of cores you could get stuck on that allows you to see into that area. So that makes it kind of hard to deal with. And yeah, Heights is gonna be a piece of crap, which is why I might just wait for it. I have one other map that I really want to do. Wait, 1 or 2 maybe. I wanted to do Heights, and I wanted to do Poketa, because I really like both of those maps. But Heights gets changed a lot, so I might just wait. And Poketa got released finally, so I can probably do Poketa pretty securely. And I know quite a few smokes for Poketa, but I'm probably gonna find some more. Yeah, not as long as the Mar playtest video, but that's because Mar actually is easy to line up for, and also Mar has quite a few more site positions that you have to worry about, whereas Doth it doesn't have a mid, so you're not gonna have to worry about the mid and all those smokes, and you really wouldn't have to worry more about site positions. I might try to find a little more, like maybe finding one that lands here would be pretty nice, but that's gonna be somewhat difficult unless I just wing it right here and somehow manage to land it. Watch me, watch me, watch me smoke this. Watch this smoke just land. Nope. Hold on, watch this. Watch this winged smoke do something. I mean, it did something. It's not really impressive. It doesn't really cover much. Like, it does that job pretty well, but it also blocks the split, so, I mean, why would you use this? So, anyway, that's pretty much most of the utility that I know. A lot of these flashbangs, you can pretty much just wing into how open the skybox is, and how wide it is, except for a site. But besides that, you know, there's not really much that you're going to want to know. This is some pretty basic stuff. It covers most of the important positions. Positions you have to worry about. Multiple smokes for a couple of these positions, and they're all thrown pretty close to where you're going to be wanting to push out of them. So, you know, it's pretty shrinky donkey. You know, just doing a little review here because I guess that's my thing now. And the review guy, we review all the thrown smokes just to make sure that I can show you that I know what I'm talking about because I can rethrow all the smokes without having to remember them. Yay! That's my job now, I guess. My job title. You know, smoke throwing guy. I memorize smokes on maps that nobody cares about, and then I show people that I remember these smokes because I review them. This smoke isn't even good. Why am I going through over it? Like, why did I just throw that smoke, dude? Why did I throw that smoke? It's not even a good smoke. This is the smoke, right? I think this is the lineup. And then we do that. I think those did perfectly. Yeah, that looks like a pretty solid default. And then, you know, you get your little chopped up in here. You gotta aim like so. Bounce it up, clear out that position. Get yourself stuck over here. Maybe I don't want to go for aggressive P. Oh, oh no, guys, they're gonna push out. You know, you're gonna push out this position. Oh, well, I guess I'll go stop them by throwing this volley. And oh no, they can't push out now. Maybe I'll keep the news slow. Oh, there goes the smoke. There's the smoke now. And then there's a smoked up. Oh no, that's not very good. Not very good for it. The terrorist and maybe jump through that smoke. Oh, well, look at where it went. So it went to the middle of ass nowhere. Why did I throw that? Yeah. This has been Doth. I did Doth. You're welcome, ABB.